of standing in the election was the fact that it was a new job, and it isn't very often in life that you get quite literally a clean canvas and the chance to set up a new office, a new relationship between the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner and the Chief Constable and his team and so on. So that to me was one of the challenges, but also the opportunities.
How does the political nature of your position actually influence how you make those decisions?
I'd like to think that there would not be one person in this 1.1 million area of people that the Chief and I serve that could look at any decision that I've made and said, he only made that decision because he was as I am, a Conservative Police and Crime Commissioner. So the answer is not very much, except for some core values. I mean, I've never made any bones that I do not think that I should ask the good taxpayers of this area to pay £1 more for any given level of security and safety than I absolutely have to. But it's interesting, of course, that in 3 of the 4 years where I've set a local tax, the precepts, in 3 of those 4 years I've actually had to raise it in order to guarantee police capability where people wanted to be kept safe.
People feel very much as though, they need the police here as much as in the city Leicester. That must be the biggest challenge, really. The fact that actually, not a great deal, thankfully, does actually happen that the police need to be involved with compared to an inner city area. Well,
to an extent that's true, but of course there are other things. For example, when you live out in the countryside, and I'm lucky enough to do so, you can't expect that the police would be with you, for example, as quickly as if you live next to a police station in the middle of Leicester City. That's just a fact. And also some of the crimes that hit rural communities, they rock them because they feel that, we've recently had a spate of theft of lead and copper from church roofs, and communities have contacted the Chief Constable and me and said, what are you doing about this? We feel vulnerable. And I really understand that, which is why, for example, I've asked the Chief to redouble his efforts to, protect people and what they call target harden, i.e. to look after themselves as best they can, but also, frankly, to catch the villains that do this stuff.
Do you have any message for the next PCC in Rutland and Leicestershire?
Only this, that I hope that I've built a foundation on which they can build. I will wish them well. This is not an easy job. I have to say, at times you feel that people will attack you politically, even though you may be doing what they would have done themselves. I've found that rather difficult. But on the other hand, the thing that I have really enjoyed, Rob, is building a relationship with the Chief and the team, but also the commissioning side of life. We have turned around youth offending in this area, and I'm really proud of that. Why? Because, of course, it brings down crime and so on, but also it stops young lives from being wasted. So there are real opportunities for making a big difference, not just in the short, but in the medium to long term, and I hope they grasp those opportunities.
It's Clive Loader. Thank you very much for joining us on Rutland Radio.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you.
Police and Crime Commissioner, the link basically between the government and the police force, and the council as well, for that matter.